What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we got the San Antonio Spurs. This team looks a lot different than we are used to seeing them in a historical sense. It's an overall younger roster than we're used to seeing, much younger roster. Plenty of their players are 26, 27 and under, so very, very young relatively for the most part. DeJounte Murray kind of leads this group. He's a very solid two-way guard, very good mid-range scorer in that sense. You've got Derek White, who's on the older side of these guys, but he's a very well-rounded player. He's not extremely good at one particular thing, but he is just a very good all-around player. He can go out there and do it all. Lonnie Walker is a guard on this team. He looks to just continue developing as a two-way guard. He's shown off his athleticism. He can score the ball a little bit, and he can go out there and get you some defensive stops. Keldon Johnson, I would say, is not a centerpiece for this team, but he is an important building block. This is one guy that I think they got to keep on the roster and just keep letting him develop, kind of piecing the team a little bit around him, and figuring out positions around him that need to be filled, but not necessarily building around him, but building with him, I would say. Devin Vassell is another key young piece to this team. He's an absolute defensive menace, and like Keldon Johnson, I would say he's probably not a centerpiece for a franchise, but he is a very good building block to have. You definitely want to keep him around as long as possible, let him continue to develop as well, as Johnson and Vassell are very young players still. And then you have Jakob Poeltl on this team. This dude's an elite post defender. He was kind of in that like Rudy Gobert type post defender conversation, as far as the stops they get and the effect that they have on shots, and the low field goal percentage that opponents have in the paint with them as the nearest defender. So Jakob Poeltl is one guy that's on this roster that is helping with the immediate team success tremendously. So they want to keep him around if that's something in their plan to win now. But that's all up to them and what their direction is, what they really deem important right now, whether it's building for the future or building for right now, because a piece like that can also be a very good trade piece. Don't know exactly what the return on that would be, but having that type of defender on your roster is very useful. Then you've got Thaddeus Young, Thaddeus Johnson. He fits any system. He's a do-it-all veteran. He's been around the league. He's seen a thing or two. He knows how to get it done. He's going to go out there and get the job done. We saw him have a very good year last year in Chicago. Yeah, Chicago. The fans were loving him. And he just, like I said, he can do a little bit of everything. He can go out there and score. He's going to rebound the ball. He's going to distribute the ball. He can shoot the three. He can get his shots in the paint. He can get his steals. He can get a block or two in there. Like I said, he can go out there. He can do everything, and he's gonna go out there and get the job done. He's just one of those old school kind of throwback players. He's not trying to adjust to the league and become a sharpshooting 3-point shooter. He just plays his game, and he goes out there and he does the work that he's supposed to be doing. And then Doug McDermott is on this roster as well. They bring him in this offseason. He's a veteran sharpshooter. He's a bucket getter. He proved that in college, and he's proved that in the NBA. Believe 7th or 8th all-time, still on the all-time scoring list for college players. So we know that he knows how to get a bucket or two, and he's a guy that has continued to do that in the NBA. Career 40% 3-point shooter, so you know he can go out there and do that. And bringing him in and bringing Thaddeus Young in just makes me think that this team is playing somewhat for current contention, for the immediate, the present. And I don't know exactly what the plans are with that. I don't know if maybe they have a trade in the future that maybe they're working on, or if they think that these young players are ready to go get after it with some veterans on the roster like Thaddeus Young and Doug McDermott. So we'll see what happens with that. You've got Zach Collins, who has missed a lot of time in his career already. He last played for the Blazers in the final seeding game of the bubble, which was back in like mid-2020, I think April. So that's a dude that we really haven't seen in a long time. He missed all of last season. He missed the playoffs of the bubble. So we haven't seen him in a very long time. We'll see if maybe this is a solid signing for the Spurs once he does come back. But Collins, we hope he gets healthy just for the sake of players and their health in the league. We hope he gets healthy. Hope to see him back on the court at some point soon. Craig Popovich has come out and said that this is probably a post-Christmas timetable for his return. So we'll see what happens there. And then you got a couple rookies on this roster. You got Josh Primo, who I really didn't know a lot about going into the draft. He was one guy that I didn't really consider as far as draft prospects. Hadn't even heard the name when he got drafted. When they said the Spurs picked Joshua Primo from Alabama, I said, who? I knew Herb Jones and I knew John Petty. And yeah, that was it. I'm pretty sure. I had no idea who Josh Primo was, but he came out and he had himself a solid summer league outing, about 14.5 points a game, and then a couple of rebounds, couple assists thrown in there. So pretty solid summer league. Preseason, he hasn't really done much yet. Don't know if he will, but that's closing down, or maybe it's over already. I don't know. Don't have any TV service since I moved to Athens here, so I haven't really been able to keep up with that as much. Haven't been able to watch anything, so other than highlights. So that's where we've been getting most of our information from that. But another rookie they've got that I really like is Jock Landale. Loved watching him in college. Excited to see what maybe he can come into the league and do. See what kind of fit he might be with this team. And then one player that they had who was recently released was Luka Samanic, I think is how you say his name. This is a player that a lot of people thought had a lot of promise and a lot of potential, including myself, and I'm sure he will get picked up somewhere. But this is a guy that apparently showed a lot of laziness, a lot of lack of effort on the court at times as well. There was no hustle to get back on defense on some plays. There was just a lot of body language issues that just set off a lot of red flags, and the Spurs decided, you know what, we're cutting ties with him. That's not going to fly with Greg Popovich, but I'm sure with his talent, he's going to find himself on a roster again soon. Someone will be ready for that, and they'll try and hopefully coach him out of those bad habits as far as body language and everything. But that was a big development over the past day or so with that with this team trying to cut down to the final roster. And Samanic was just a dude that just didn't fit the culture. So Popovich said, bye-bye, you're out of here. And this is Popovich's team. You can never count a Popovich team out, but for my season predictions, I do believe that this is about a 36 to 38 win team. And I think they miss the play-in tournament and end up with one of those low lottery picks around like 14 or so, or like 12 to 14. And I think that is where we will see this team at. But like I said, never count out a Greg Popovich coach team. So that is my breakdown and predictions for the Spurs. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts on this roster, and subscribe if you're new, and we will catch you on the next video. Peace out.